Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the finale for the 2021 Project Pan. Some I wanted to finish up completely, some were just usage goals, and I kind of just combined them all together into one yearly project. For this finale, I only have 8 products left to talk about. I didn't add anything new in the last time because I figured with 1 month left, just start over fresh for 2022. Yeah, definitely stick around till the end because I do want to share my feelings on how I did this year, and I did try to collect some of the empties from this project. Didn't save them all, but we'll talk about that at the end. For now, let's just jump right into it and see how I did, how I'm closing out 2021 with these products. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to start with the Lorac Serenity sample. This is an eyeshadow that was in since the very beginning that I was trying to finish, and I only had a little bit left the last update. So yay, your girl finally finished this eyeshadow. It took the entire year to finish a sample. I know for some people they would have finished this in much less time than a year, but through rotating different products and wanting to actually focus on other things as well, a year is the best I could do. This is the very first eyeshadow I actually finished ever. Never finished an eyeshadow completely ever in my life. Huge achievement for me personally. As much as I like a pretty basic color like this, as the months started getting colder, I didn't feel as drawn to using such a warm eyeshadow. I was able to make it work and created some, decent looks with it. I am glad to have finished it and I can move on to other colors because it is a color that I got a little bit bored of throughout the year, but I appreciated the color for what it was. I did have to use this 8 more times to finish this completely since the last update. I used it 51 times total since bringing it in January. Yay, and just in the nick of time for the project to wrap up. Okay, next eyeshadow that I was working on was from the Modern Renaissance palette. I had a usage goal of 30 times on a bunch of shadows, and the last one left was Buonfresco from this palette. Brought this eyeshadow in May. Had to use this 5 more times to hit my goal of 30, and I did it. I used it 5 times and I hit my 30 goal, and it's really kind of hard to see any sort of dip, but there is definitely a dip in there. This palette in general, I would love to see more dips like that. But yeah, I'm really happy that I hit my goal on that one. I tried to be very intentional with my goals and making sure they weren't like over the top types of goals because I know myself and how I wear eyeshadow and stuff like that. So I was able to do it, and kind of convenient that they all happened to, my eyeshadows at least, they were able to hit their goals by the end of the year. All right, moving on to blush. This Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Powder Blush. My goal is to hit pan on this, not to finish it, just hit pan. I did not succeed with hitting pan on this blush at all. I am seeing a lot more progress in general, especially more on this side. I swirl the whole thing together, but for a while this side had hard pan. I, finally scraped it off, but this side is a little bit higher than this side. I don't know if it's like the formula or the hard pan or whatever, but you can definitely see like there's like an indentation here on the side that wasn't there or as visible maybe the last time or for the past couple months, but it's definitely there, which is making me happy. So I feel like, I don't want to say hitting pan is coming close because you never know with that, but I definitely feel like it'll be soonish when I hit pan on here. I used this blush 15 times between the last update and now, bringing me up to a total of 64 times since I brought this into this project. Though it wasn't in since the beginning, so this one was a roll-in not too long ago, like maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. So you will be seeing this blush again in 2022, and for sure I will hopefully hit pan on it in 2022. Hopefully earlier in the year rather than later. At least I really like the blush, so there's that. I tried to pick stuff I like in this project. This Almay Intense eyeliner. It's a liquid liner in the shade Raisin Quartz. This was in since the beginning, and it was already old then, but I wanted to really make a point of finishing this up this year. So the last update, I had used this 0 times between like October and November. I don't know how that happened. I think because I forgot to write it down in my bullet journal to use it. And I used it 7 times, which I guess makes up for that 1 month because it seems like I use this about 4 times each month. So I guess that kind of compensated. Since bringing this in January, I used this 55 times and it's still not done yet. I don't know why it's not done, but it's not done. It's still like looks like there's a decent amount of product left on the brush. So I don't get it. Now, the weird thing about this, I don't know if they put more product in the purple one, because I ended up finishing the brown version of this, the brown topaz, I think it was called. That dried out and is finished completely. And I don't think I used that nearly as much as I've used this. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's just like a different formula than the brown one, or I don't know. So, or maybe I did use the brown one more. I don't think so though, because this was actually in the project and that one wasn't. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But I was thinking about maybe decluttering this, but I decided that I liked it enough still to keep it in and not declutter it. And I do actually want to finish this. I wasn't really sure for a while if I liked it anymore, if I was sick of it or whatever. And I think I can finish this in 2022. 22 is the year. These things are all going to hit their goal that I didn't reach yet. Promise you. Promise you. So let's move into lip glosses now. I had the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie in my project, and my goal is to empty this completely. And I did take the stopper out a couple of months ago, and it was a lot messier. It's not finished all the way. Some might consider this, finished enough, but I feel like I can actually scrape it clean or get it down even further. Still enjoy using it, and I've been mixing it with a lot of other products, so I still find use in this and can probably get a few more uses out of it. So I won't consider this completely finished yet. But I'm very pleased with how far it's come and how much emptier it seems. I used this 9 times since the last update, 41 times since I brought it into the project itself. You will be hopefully seeing this finished off early in 2022. The Wet n Wild Glassy Gloss in the shade Mow the Glass. Now this one, I did not count usage for this. I just marked it off on the tube. October, here's where it was, November, and now we're down to here. So it doesn't seem that I used as much of it this past month as I did the month before, but it's coming down. It's coming down. It's not really a product that I have to think about too much. It's almost automatic that I use it. I don't know if I'm just like putting too much of it on, but I'm starting to like taste it in my mouth a little bit. I know that sounds kind of gross, but like not like it tastes horrible, but it just, yeah, I'm starting to notice something going on with that. And I'm not sure if it's just because I'm putting too much of it on or it actually is because it's old, but I will be very mindful of that between now and next month. And if I feel like it is getting a little weird or like weirding me out too much, I might end up decluttering this. We don't want to keep things around that like have a weird taste, or it doesn't have a weird smell or anything, but it's just, it's really old, and I know it's really old. And if it's going to start like being funky, then I don't want to keep using it. If it's still workable, obviously I will keep it in and try to finish it, but if not, I will declutter it. So we'll see next month how we're doing with it. The Clarins Instant Light Perfector in Rosewood Shimmer. I can hear there's a lot of air in here, so that's very obvious that there's not much product in here at all. There's no way for me to measure this because I do not weigh it. I don't have a scale to measure this kind of a thing. But in terms of usage, I did use this 4 times since the last update, 49 times since I brought it into the project. So it's still going. I do feel like I have to, squeeze a little bit harder to get the product to come out. I think this is really close to being done. I can just feel that there's not much left in here at all, and it'll probably be done in like maybe less than 5 uses, but it isn't finished completely. So I'm coming really, really close with a lot of these products. Just didn't quite hit it by the end of the year, but those will be hopefully gimmies for 2022. So I'm excited for that. Sonia Kashuk contour stick. Rolled this in February. So not the full year, but like, close to the beginning of the year. And now we're down to here. I clearly didn't finish it. This is a very slow moving product. And, I started measuring it using my Z palette as opposed to paper, which was getting a little bit messy and hard to measure because I felt like I wasn't doing it accurately every month. And it looks like it's definitely coming down. If you hold it up to the Z palette, which the picture will pop up here, you can see that it is no longer covering the L. It's coming down to the next letter. So I definitely see it coming down. I used this contour stick 15 times since the last update, 128 times since February. I think that's, if I did my math correctly. 128 times. And that's a heck of a lot of times. To be fair though, I don't like pile this on, and I don't need a lot of it when I, do my contour. I just like rub a little bit in here and there and like use a brush to kind of swirl it out and like blend it in. So I don't need a ton of it when I do use it. So it did come down a lot from the beginning of the year. I did still keep the paper that I was, originally marking it up on, and I haven't been using it to mark up since, but just to give you an idea of where it was in February, that dome line at the top was where I was in February. And now you can see that it has come down quite a bit since that line. So I am predicting, even though I like put a little gash in there, that's kind of annoying. I'm predicting that this will be done in 2022. Even though I know it's a slow moving product, I used up a lot of it since February, and there's a lot less now going into 2022 than there was when I started. So I do think that this will be done in 2022. So we're getting a little glimpse into next year and some wins, I think, for 2022, even though I didn't quite finish them. Like, yeah, so I'm excited to roll those products left into next year, have some gimmies and some wins, hopefully earlier in the year. Overall, I'm very happy with the progress that I made in all the categories and all the products, and I think I, tried to set very reasonable goals for myself. I knew I probably wasn't going to finish an entire eyeshadow that was like full size, but I thought, a sample definitely. And now that I know it takes me a full year to finish a sample, that will help me kind of determine what I do next year. I'm probably going to do more usage goals next year as opposed to like finishing stuff that's not like lipstick or something. And very happy with like kicking a lot of gloss out and like finishing a lipstick. I used up all of these this year. I mean, who knows, if I hadn't had these in a project, where I would be with these now, but they're all done, and I'm glad because they were all old. I finished off more skincare than these two, but I finished up these two serums. None of these things started out 100% full. So, but I just wanted to kind of, get things going with those. Hair care empty, and I finished a couple of hair care and was not good about saving any of them. These are just the stuff that are in projects. And I did empty 2 perfumes out this year. This is one of them. Other was like the Philosophy Amazing Grace perfume. Of course, the Lorac eyeshadow, which I feel like I need to frame this. Y'all who are experts at emptying out eyeshadows are probably like, cool, Jen, but like I'm proud of it. This is just a couple that I ended up saving for throughout the year. There's definitely a lot of usage goals in all of my eyeshadows. I met like I think all of them. Yeah, and I also hit pan on a blush, the CoverGirl Peach Perfect one. You would think that would be one I would remember, but I think it's been so long. I kind of put it out of my head, but that was a big achievement, was hitting pan on that CoverGirl blush. Oh yeah, I know that's not like all of the goals that I met this year. I don't want to bore you with all the details of every single one. Maybe next year I'll bore you with all of the more specific details. I always tweak things a little bit here and there. The more I do these projects to see what I want to focus on for the next year, and maybe determine what kind of goals I want to have. So yeah, I plan on doing a yearly project pan next year, and probably some themed ones. I mean, that's what I say now. I really want to do like something cute next year. I don't know, the graveyard one sounds kind of cool. I think I can add another one in. I think that's totally doable. So we will see. I do plan on doing an inventory video soon before the end of the year. If I don't see you guys, I hope you have a really great holiday. Christmas if you celebrate, New Year's, all that. Hopefully I get to see you before New Year's though. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!